Did you know that violent crime in the United States surged by nearly 40% in the last decade? And in some cities it's even worse? We're not just talking about a few percentage points here, folks. This is a full-blown explosion of violence, the likes of which we haven't seen in decades. And let's be clear, these aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. These are real lives being torn apart, families living in fear and communities crumbling from within. From drug-fueled violence to skyrocketing living costs, American cities once hailed as thriving hubs are now struggling to stay afloat. Today, we're counting down the top 10 U.S. cities collapsing due to crime, cost, and chaos, and the reasons behind their rapid decline, because understanding these trends isn't just about safety, it's about survival. So let's dive into the most alarming urban breakdowns across the United States. First up, we find ourselves in Oakland, California, a city once synonymous with vibrant culture and a pioneering spirit. But today, Oakland tells a different story. A recent report revealed a shocking surge in homicides and armed robberies, painting a grim picture of a city gripped by fear. Imagine walking down the street, the sun shining, birds chirping, and all you can think about is whether today's the day you become another statistic. What was once a haven for artists and musicians now sees businesses shutting down, driven out by rampant theft and a pervasive sense of insecurity. The unemployment rate is enough to make your eyes water, and the cost of living? Let's just say you'd need to be a tech millionaire just to afford a cardboard box under a bridge. It's a vicious cycle, folks. As businesses flee, jobs disappear, pushing more people towards desperation and crime. And let's not even get started on the opioid crisis, which has ravaged communities and left countless families shattered. It's a far cry from the Oakland of old, a stark reminder that even in the Golden State, all that glitters is not gold. Our next stop takes us to the heartland of America, to St. Louis, Missouri, a city that consistently ranks among the most dangerous in the country. And folks, when I say consistently, I mean it's practically earned a reserved parking spot at the top of that list. Year after year, St. Louis makes headlines for all the wrong reasons, with gun violence so rampant it feels like the Wild West out there. But this isn't a Hollywood movie. It's a living nightmare for the people trapped in the crossfire. The economic inequality in St. Louis is like a gaping wound, festering for generations. Despite valiant efforts at revitalization, entire neighborhoods remain mired in decay and fear, held hostage by a system that seems rigged against them. Imagine living in a place where simply stepping outside your front door feels like a life-or-death decision. That's the reality for far too many in St. Louis, a city crying out for help, a city that deserves so much better. From the banks of the Mississippi, we arrive in New Orleans, a city that pulsates with a unique rhythm and soul. But beneath the vibrant music and festive atmosphere lies a city grappling with a dark undercurrent of violence. New Orleans has long struggled with high murder rates, and despite its reputation for resilience, the city seems to be sinking deeper into crisis. The public infrastructure is crumbling faster than a king cake on Mardi Gras, and access to decent healthcare? Good luck with that. It's like trying to find a sober person at a drive-through daiquiri shop. While tourists flock to Bourbon Street, oblivious to the struggles of everyday life, many residents find themselves dodging crime and navigating a system that seems determined to keep them down. The schools are underfunded, the streets are often flooded, and the future feels about as certain as a hurricane's path. It's enough to make you wonder, will New Orleans ever catch a break? Portland, from utopia to dystopia. Next, we venture to the Pacific Northwest, to Portland, Oregon, a city that was once the poster child for progressive values and a thriving arts scene. But hold on to your craft beer, folks, because Portland's star has lost its shine. What was once hailed as a utopia has descended into a dystopian nightmare, plagued by a perfect storm of rising homelessness, rampant drug use, and street crime that would make your hair stand on end. Remember those quirky, independent businesses that gave Portland its unique charm? Yeah, they're dropping like flies, driven out by relentless theft and a sense that the city has lost its damn mind. The streets, once filled with the aroma of artisanal coffee and vegan donuts, now reek of desperation and something far less pleasant. And don't even get me started on the trust in law enforcement, which has plummeted faster than a hipster on a unicycle after one too many IPAs. Detroit, a city divided. Our journey takes us next to the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, a city that has become synonymous with both industrial decline and the struggle for rebirth. And while there's no denying that Detroit has shown remarkable resilience, let's not kid ourselves. This comeback story has a dark side. Sure, downtown is gleaming with new condos and trendy restaurants, but venture just a few blocks away, and you'll find yourself in a different world altogether. Crime still casts a long shadow over many neighborhoods, and the poverty rate, let's just say it's higher than Snoop Dogg at a Cypress Hill concert. Blighted neighborhoods, starved of investment and opportunity, stand as a stark reminder of the work that still needs to be done. It's like the city has been stitched together with hope and despair, leaving residents caught in a constant tug-of-war. Can Detroit bridge this divide and offer a brighter future for all its citizens? Only time will tell. Baltimore, city of broken promises. From the Motor City, we head east to Baltimore, Maryland, a city steeped in history and, tragically, plagued by violence. Baltimore has the unfortunate distinction of having one of the highest murder rates in the nation, a grim statistic that hangs over the city like a shroud. But it's not just the violence that's crippling Baltimore. It's the sense of hopelessness that permeates every corner of the city. The public school system, once the pride of Maryland, is now failing its students at an alarming rate. The drug crisis has ravaged entire communities, leaving families shattered and futures uncertain. And economic mobility? Well, let's just say it's about as likely as finding a Ravens fan who doesn't bleed purple. For Baltimore's minority communities, the situation is even more dire. Trapped in a cycle of poverty and violence, they are crying out for help, their voices too often drowned out by apathy and neglect. Chicago, a tale of two cities. Our next stop takes us to the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, a global metropolis renowned for its architecture, culture, and unfortunately, its deeply entrenched violence. Chicago is a city of stark contrasts, where gleaming skyscrapers cast long shadows over neighborhoods ravaged by poverty and gun violence. It's a tale of two cities, a place where you can sip cocktails at a rooftop bar overlooking the magnificent Mile one minute, and find yourself ducking for cover from gunfire the next. The economic divide in Chicago is wider than the gap between Kanye West's ego and reality. On one side, you have luxury high-rises filled with the city's elite sipping champagne and discussing their stock portfolios. On the other, you have families struggling to put food on the table, living in fear of becoming another statistic in Chicago's never-ending cycle of violence. San Francisco, paradise lost to tech bros and despair. Hold on to your sourdough bread, folks, because we're heading west to San Francisco, California, a city once synonymous with free love, innovation, and breathtaking beauty. But these days, San Francisco feels more like a cautionary tale of what happens when unchecked capitalism and a severe lack of affordable housing collide. The cost of living in San Francisco is enough to make even the wealthiest tech mogul wince. Forget about buying a house. Renting a shoebox in a decent neighborhood will set you back more than a year's worth of avocado toast. This tech-driven inequality has created a chasm between the haves and the have-nots, leaving many longtime residents feeling like strangers in their own city. And let's not forget the homeless crisis, which has exploded into a full-blown disaster. Jackson, a city on life support. Our penultimate stop takes us to Jackson, Mississippi, a city grappling with a multitude of crises that threaten to overwhelm it entirely. Jackson is a city on life support, its vital organs failing under the weight of poverty, neglect, and a growing wave of crime. The infrastructure is collapsing faster than a game of Jenga played during an earthquake. Water crises have become so commonplace that residents are forced to rely on bottled water for even the most basic necessities. Schools are crumbling, both literally and figuratively, robbing children of their right to a decent education. And the tax base? Well, it's shrinking faster than a polar bear's ice cap in a heat wave. The situation in Jackson is dire, a stark reminder of the consequences of systemic inequality and the human toll of government inaction. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly brutality. Our final stop takes us to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a city that's currently experiencing a serious case of heartbreak. In 2024, Philadelphia broke its all-time homicide record, a grim milestone that should make every politician hang their head in shame. Rampant crime, fueled by a toxic cocktail of poverty, despair, and easy access to firearms, has left residents feeling frustrated, frightened, and frankly, fed up. Open-air drug use is rampant, turning once vibrant neighborhoods into scenes straight out of a zombie apocalypse. And the city's leadership? Well, let's just say they're about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Even key downtown areas once considered safe havens have become no-go zones at night, as the city struggles to contain the violence that threatens to consume it. A nation at a crossroads. So there you have it, folks. 10 American cities teetering on the brink, their stories a sobering reminder of the challenges facing our nation. From coast to coast, cities are grappling with rising crime, soaring inequality, and a sense that the American dream is slipping further out of reach for far too many. Which city on this list surprised you the most? Was it the rapid decline of Portland, the persistent struggles of Detroit, or the heartbreaking situation in Jackson? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into America's changing landscape. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged. Because the future of our cities, and indeed our nation, depends on it.